Welcome to Cinema Sitdown. Today we watched Parasite, and I'm here joined with
Noah.
and
Benjamin.
and also.
Nolan.
And in just a few short moments, we'll be reviewing and also discussing the film. Welcome back. So first, I'm just gonna get like initial thoughts because this is a roller coaster of a movie. So first, I'll start with my left.
First, I'll say it's good. I definitely think it was good. It is like a 2-hour movie, so it's like if you don't really like longer movies, you might not like it longer. But overall, it was definitely really good.
Okay, good to hear. And Ben, what did you think of the movie Parasite?
It's hard for me to keep up with a movie in a foreign language, but I just thought if this movie is any better than the one I saw last night, which is Valerie, I am good. If it's any better than that movie, and it was better than that
It was
movie.
better. Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And do you watch a lot of movies in foreign languages or no?
No.
No.
The
Okay.
movie Valerie and Parasite were both in foreign languages.
Okay, well you're getting there. You're trying stuff out. What did you think?
Me personally, I have never been more inspired. Their work ethic and money-making routines are innovational and exciting to me as a young entrepreneur, of course. So, yeah, a lot of people say like, oh, this movie is scary, this movie is a thriller. It's an inspirational piece. It's a motivational picture. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, I guess that kind of goes into the main plot of the movie, which is just this family trying to kind of scheme themselves into not like a lot of wealth, but just like to get by. So, honestly, watching it at the beginning, it definitely kind of gives that vibe where it's like, yeah, you know, they're fighting against the rich.
You're rooting for them.
You know, you're rooting for them, and then obviously it spiraled.
And I was wondering, is the directors of foreign films bilingual?
Sometimes.
They know English and the language of that movie?
Not always, but it's a possibility that, you know, the higher tier directors, they probably know a few languages.
Are you bilingual?
Barely.
No,
I wouldn't
we
say I'm
didn't-
fluent, but
We didn't even need the subtitles. We just kind of just went off.
yeah, by the visuals. See, and the visuals are great in this movie.
I thought it definitely looked good. Like every shot in like camera quality and like choice, it definitely looked good.
Yeah.
So like even if you like didn't catch what they said or something, at least you're looking at something that's gonna catch your eye.
Was it
Especially the
fake?
flood scene.
Oh
The
yeah,
flood.
sure.
Oh man.
It was the toilet for
I
me.
really liked
Not thinking about what that
I
substance
felt like I
was.
was really gonna like that scene, but I sneezed during that scene.
It was a good
the whole
scene,
So I,
dude.
so I had to go to the bathroom and miss out on that scene.
We're gonna rewatch that.
But what happened in that scene? Maybe you can fill me in.
Oh, they're so the lower class family. They just pulled off that stuff with the family in the basement. They're like, oh my God, guys, I'm freaking out. And then they go home and everything is flooding. Their entire neighborhood. They have to get all this stuff from their houses. The daughter sits on the toilet as it's exploding with sewage water and smokes a
water.
cigarette.
But one thing I did catch me pre-sneeze. What was that? Like, why were those? Why are two girls being hostage?
Which ones?
In the
The
basement?
hostage?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
the old housekeeper.
Oh.
Yeah, the old housekeeper and her husband. They didn't want to. The lower class family didn't want the old housekeeper to tell the upper class family that they were a family, because then it ruins their scam illusion.
Exactly.
Yeah, that house wasn't big enough for 3 families. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks,
Yeah.
thanks for filling me in.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the flood, throughout the movie is just like a very clear like difference between the rich and the poor.
Yeah.
Like in the flood, the families in the poor regions, you know, they're huddled in this like garage or something like that, like some
basement.
gym. Yeah.
Oh no, okay, no.
There was like a
the
gym,
when they
and
in the
they're all
gym.
just like huddled together. They have a bunch of clothes laid around, and that's their reaction after the flood. And this rich family, they're like, let's throw a party, you know, it's
throwing
nice.
a party, and their kids
Yeah.
sleep outside in the tent during the rainstorm
Exactly.
and everything. Well,
So it's like a whole disconnect, and with the visuals, you know, you have like the gray, disgusting kind of area. You know, they're getting pesticides or whatever just smoked out in their house, and then you see him walk up this like really wide and important road that they keep on showing, and it's just a green, like beautiful house.
yeah, even everything around the house, it was like more vivid colors, like the lawn and even the sky. And when they threw the party, just how bright it was. Whenever you saw the like poor families, the main character family's house, that was like the half basement, it was always like dingy. The lights were a little bit darker. I mean, they would always be in kind of a more confined space versus the other houses all wide. And I didn't even know that's kind of like what the movie was going after, was kind of like part of the hidden message was kind of like showing like the rich versus the poor, mainly with Mr. Park, and showing like how he's rich and he's kind of like a scumbag. And then like, I didn't even know that was the whole underlying thing until he started kind of revealing himself. It was with them keys. He didn't, when the old girl got stabbed and they tried to throw the keys and keys under her, he didn't even care that girl got stabbed. He wanted the keys to the car to get out of there.
That was, I think, I mean, this movie is kind of just about like 3 different levels of families trying to do what they can for themselves and for each other.
Yeah.
And that's the part where I think kind of the real tragedy comes in, is you have the man in the basement. He's just trying to basically avenge his wife. You have the main character dad, and he's trying to basically avenge his daughter and secure this financial stability for his own family. And then you have Mr. Park, who has this very kind of weird relationship with his family. He barely ever calls his wife his wife. He says Desong's mom, and they do like regard each other like that. They say like, oh, this is Desong's dad and this is Desong's mom. But that kind of family dynamic is so tight with the middle family, the main character family, and that's why whenever you were talking about the keys scene, he like flips over the body and like pulls up the keys and he's like, oh, it smells terrible.
Yeah, even more concerned about the smell.
That was like the main dad's point where he's like, okay, this guy sucks. He's gonna die.
So yeah, that's enough.
Sorry I keep asking questions, I just don't follow foreign films.
You're good.
No, you're good.
But why was the stabbing a part of the movie?
He was just tired of him, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a breaking point.
It's just like, you know, they've just gone through so much and everything's fallen apart, and they just want to unleash kind of their anger, I guess, in this one final kind of act. And you know, it's just kind of sad because you hope that they can make it out of, you know, poverty or whatever, but in the end it's very clear that they're just going to be stuck there. And you know, the son, of course, he says he's going to try and make it and buy the house, but
I was thinking about that.
yeah, the monologue that he gets by his dad right before that was like, don't make plans, you know, like poor people, we can't have dreams, pretty much. And he kind of goes against that, and he tries to do it anyways, and it's just kind of left open whether he will accomplish.
It's messed up. It's like they're like a product of their circumstances. Like they was just kind of like anybody in their shoes would like kind of do similar actions to them. So it's not even like they was really choosing to do this stuff. It's like they did what they had to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's messed up, really.
Right.
The harder you think about this movie, the more it's kind of messed up deeper inside.
Yeah, I think the thing was that like the main dad, he just really loved his family, and then Mr. Park during the birthday party, whenever they like put on the 2 headdresses and they were behind the table discussing the plans of what they were gonna do, to put on this show for the song, he was like, "This is so silly. I'm so embarrassed." And this is just he said that he was gonna pay to do. It was gonna count as his work. And I think that was the moment he was staring at him. There was a music cue and everything. It was the moment I think he realized, like, this guy sucks. And although because the 2 families are supposed to be like parallels to each other, although we're both the dads in these families, this guy is just the father, and I'm the dad at this point, because calling, I think a dad calling his son's birthday party silly and calling it work and stuff like that is not what a dad should be doing, and I think he realized that in that moment.
All right, and it's definitely like you don't really see any love from the Park family at all.
Not at all.
And that's why you're kind of rooting for the main cast, even when they're doing bad stuff. They're doing it because they care about each other.
At least they love each other.
Exactly, they want to take care of each other. Like even the scene that we have on the TV here, they're all like just kind of having a nice time. And they're just like, look what we've done.
They had one night in the house where they could spend it together, and look how they spent it. Versus the Park family's in there every night, and they're probably all in separate rooms. And the son doesn't even hardly want to. He wants to go sleep outside the tent, and it's just like, yeah, it's an interesting parallel. There's actually love in that family, despite how hard it is.
Exactly. That you never really see the Park family really all together.
They're never in the same room.
Yeah, they never spend time.
They couldn't even get dinner together.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like the only scene where there's some maybe sense of love is, I would say, two scenes where one, it's the mother talking about her son, because she seems like genuinely like worried.
I remember that.
Yeah, and then the other scene is just the sex scene, but it's kind of like, it's really weird because they're both just kind of like, they're just kind of like making this weird thing about wanting to live like poor, dirty lives. And it's just like, they're so disconnected from the real world where that's just like, a fun little pleasurable thing that they can do, while the other family's like, they're struggling, and it's just like, they constantly remind you of that disconnect between the two.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting because it is a disconnect, but it's almost like a reconnection as well, because it's showing that they do have the same wants and, I guess, needs as like the poorer families in them. Because whenever he found the underwear in the car, Mr. Park was like, "Ew, this is disgusting," and then later on he was like, "Yo, you still have those?"
Yeah, he asked his wife to put them on. That's when I was like,
"Yeah."
I'm like, bro, hold on now. He's a little different.
And especially with you talked about the like smell when he was like grabbing the keys, and that kind of comes up towards the end, kind of half, where they start talking about like the smell of like pretty much like the poor smell. And I think it's just kind of maybe saying something where it's like, you can pretend and dress up, but you still have like, you're still thinking as if you're poor. You kind of still have that background that's gonna forever affect you. And it's just kind of something that sticks with you, even if you do find some wealth. And I think he's just trying to be like, oh, I can tell, I can tell when someone's. So, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on in the movie.
Did it surprise y'all that the ending started to get so violent? I felt like when he like straight up threw the rock at the dude's head and we actually got to see it, I was just like, whoa, hold on, I didn't know the movie was going that far. Did it surprise any of y'all that it was getting like, I don't know, I guess that bloody?
Yeah, definitely. I think because I hadn't watched this movie until about 2 weeks ago. I had, of course, heard a lot about it. I didn't know where to watch it or anything. But I knew that there were some violent scenes, so I wasn't surprised by it, but I was surprised at the pacing of it for sure. Because I was looking at it, and I was like, oh, the movie should be ending soon. And then as soon as that happened, dude goes downstairs, gets
and kind of takes off. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ben, of that last, like, it's literally like 10 minutes. It's like a 10-minute scene and just everything goes wrong.
Like I said, it's very, 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 should I say another very?
Yeah, I think you should.
Very difficult for me to understand foreign films, so I didn't really get the gist of what was going on.
But it did shock you, though, when that happened, right?
I mean,
or did you kind of tell that it was going to come soon?
It was kind of shocking because I didn't know it was.
Okay, so you didn't expect it?
Yeah.
Was this your guys' first time watching this?
Yeah, it was my first time.
Or
like 2 weeks ago I watched it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I was so excited that we were gonna watch it again because I wanted to immediately.
Yeah.
But I noticed a lot more just like subtle stuff this time. But yeah, the movie was amazing.
Yeah, no.
Especially on second watch.
I think I watched it when it first came out because my friend's a really big like movie guy, and he was like, dude, you gotta watch this movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know, I'll check it out. But
So
after rewatching it, it was just as good.
So is that why you decided to cinema sit down it?
I did. I thought it was a really good movie to show everybody, and I also just wanted to see it again. So it was kind of like a little bit of a selfish reason as well, but I think everyone enjoyed it to some extent.
Oh yeah.
I liked it. I like the movie fit like multiple different like descriptions. And you could consider it, some people call it a thriller, some people call it a suspense, some people call it, you could even almost say kind of like drama in a way. It was funny. It had an underlying theme. So I like how this movie is real diverse. I don't even know how to describe it in one like lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
I think.
Now, after experiencing 2 foreign films back to back, I can assure you that I prefer English movies.
Prefer that? Is it just you can't keep up with it?
I mean, yeah, it's one, I can't understand diddly squats of what they're saying, and 2, it's very hard for me to read the subtitles very fast and keep looking at the movie.
Yeah, that's a fair
That's fair
point.
enough,
Yeah. Yeah, I've just practiced. I always have to have subtitles on, even with English.
Yeah, when I was younger, I remember watching Sandlot, like the first one, and I was watching the movie in English, but I still had the subtitles in English.
Yeah, that's exactly what I have to do. I actually had one more question. At the very end, I actually forgot about this scene. The son starts laughing,
What?
and
yeah.
he can't stop. Is there any like thoughts that you guys had of why he's laughing or what that means? Because honestly, I completely forgot about it, and I was really curious to see if anyone had interpretations.
I mean, if I got attacked like he did, I mean, they hit him with a giant rock. It was probably this big, like twice. Or was it 2 or 3? Yeah, it was 2 or 3 times. He got chased up the stairwell, choked by that little.
yeah, he should be dead.
Slip knot thing. Yeah, he should be dead.
He should definitely be dead.
So if all that happened to me and I woke up and I was alive, I'd be like, sweet. I would laugh too.
Yeah, I wonder what the actual definitely I think it's because he was messed up a little bit afterwards. But yeah, I wonder what the meaning behind that was. Like, they probably had some underlying meaning, because it was saying that he was laughing at certain things, but then it reached a certain point and said he couldn't laugh at all or whatever, or like he stopped laughing. So I feel like there is some underlying meaning. I don't know. I might have to watch it a second time, but you're right. There's something more to that.
So how good is everyone up here with reading subtitles?
As I said, I always have them on. Even in English, I always have them on.
I watch all the anime, so
That's
I'm
facts.
trained. I got a Sharingan. You ever heard of that?
Maybe I'll watch a Rocky movie tonight and have subtitles on.
I think
Nah,
you
watch a
should.
foreign
You gotta
one.
watch a foreign film
Yeah.
with the subtitles on.
More of these. These are low key better nowadays.
Exactly. You gotta expand your
Yeah.
taste.
This is better
The hot
than
take. Hot
this is
take.
better than most stuff I've seen in the last
Okay,
hot
I'll
takes.
watch a Rocky movie, have it in French, but have the subtitles
That sounds
on.
like a fantastic
That's
time.
English.
That is a start.
That's a start.
That's gonna train you from going from subtitles to
Right.
seeing what's actually going on.
That's one thing. The first time I watched it, it was kind of difficult for me to focus on subtitle and context
Yeah.
at the same time. So a little bit of the humor was lost on me. But this movie is really funny.
I mean,
It's very well done. So watching it the second time, I kind of got to lean into the humor a little bit more, just because I was able to pay more attention to it. But once you get over the very small obstacle of subtitles, this movie's fantastic.
With that in mind, what would you say your final ranking is for this movie?
We're doing stars or out of 10?
We're gonna go out of 10.
Out of 10, it's 10.
It's 10?
Easy 10.
Boom. Ben.
2,
Out of
10.
No way. Okay.
Movies I don't understand get a low rating.
That's fair. That's fair enough. I'm gonna go with 10 because honestly, I'm thinking about it. There's nothing I would change.
I'll round it out with another 10.
Let's
give
go.
It a 10. I
So
love
I
it.
have
I did
those-
really like it.
So I have the lowest rating.
You do.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. And I hope everyone joins us for the next Cinema Sit Down. Thank you for coming here and watching us talk about this crazy movie. Have a good day and see you later.
Thank you.